This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Curfew imposed in Olympic Gardens. A curfew has been imposed in Olympic Gardens in the St. Andrew South Police Division. The security measure comes amid a spate of fatal shootings in the community. The curfew began at 8 p.m. yesterday and will continue until 8 p.m. on Thursday, September 8. The boundaries of the curfew are as follows: north along McKinley Crescent and Lendine Drive from Olympic Way to Seaward Drive, east along Seaward Drive from McKinley Crescent and Lendine Drive to Bay Farm Road, south along Bay Farm Road from Seaward Drive to Olympic Way, west along Olympic Way from Bay Farm Road to McKinley Crescent and Lendine Drive. During the hours of the curfew, all persons are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander. Arrest warrant issued for suspect in shooting death of Trenchtown teen. The West Kingston Police have issued an arrest warrant for Desroy Walker, who is being sought for the fatal shooting of 15-year-old Tivoli Gardens High student Nevada Maitland. Nevada was shot dead on Friday along 4th Street in Trenchtown. Senior Superintendent Michael Phillips, head of the West Kingston Police, told the news that the warrant was issued for the suspect after investigators collected eyewitness statements in the case. The police are appealing to Mr. Walker to turn himself into the Denhamtown Police no later than 8 a.m. Wednesday, the 7th of September. Members of the suspect's family were forced to leave the community Friday after receiving death threats.
Despite our many efforts aimed at trying to apprehend Mr. Desroy Walker, otherwise called Shamar, who was listed as a person of interest in the murder of Nevada Maitland, our efforts have not been met with the desired level of success. Further investigations, however, have caused us to upgrade the status of Mr. Walker to that of a wanted person. We are still intensifying our efforts to arrest him, and we are still appealing to him to turn himself into the Denhamtown Police no later than 8 a.m. Wednesday, 7th of September.
Phillips gets rowdy over unanswered questions, apologizes for unparliamentary behavior. Member of Parliament for North West Manchester, Michael Phillips, yesterday afternoon narrowly missed being removed from the sitting of the House of Representatives over his conduct. Phillips was offered a reprieve after he relented and apologized for his unparliamentary behavior for disobeying an order from House Speaker Marissa Dalrymple Philibert when he did not receive answers to questions put to Education Minister Favour Williams. He wanted to ascertain from Williams what was being done to assist the students in his constituency who are being affected by the collapsed Troy Bridge in Manchester, which went down last year. He also wanted to know if the ministry would be compensating teachers who now have to travel 17 miles to get to work. Noting that the design for a new bridge was already done and that the costing and the scope of work are being worked on, Dalrymple Philibert asked Phillips to observe the standing orders and moved on. But Phillips said he was not comforted by that information as teachers and the students are still displaced. The House Speaker, however, assured him that the matter was important but stressed that there is a process to get the matter resolved. She again referred him to the standing order and her ruling that he should move on. Madam, with all due respect, I ask a simple question, and you are trying to answer that question for the minister. I have to report I am the one who has been feeling it from the parents. Your children have to come from Trelawney, mine have to cross. When that child who fell in that river and nearly drowned, you were nowhere to be called or to be seen. I had to deal with that, Phillips stated. Members then objected to his utterance, but Phillips declared that he would not sit when Leader of Government Business Edmund Bartlett stood on a point of order and asked that he be put in line. Bartlett then asked the House Speaker to name the member and advise the House Marshal accordingly. "To do what? Marshal vote for me to come in here? You must be mad," said a defiant Phillips. "I don't want anybody to gag me inside here either," he added. Dalrymple Philibert, after telling Phillips that she was disappointed in his behavior, again asked him to back down and insisted that she was moving on. Bartlett, however, insisted that Phillips needed to acknowledge that he floated the House Speaker's order and should show some level of contrition. It cannot be that he is allowed to be belligerent and to obviously float the rules of this honorable House, and without resigning from his position, he is allowed to go on, he said. Member Everett Warmington then advised the House Speaker that she should carry out Bartlett's request so that the appropriate action can be taken, pointing to the Standing Orders rule which states that a member who disregards the authority of the chair or abuses the rules of the House shall be named by the Speaker, who is also to direct a minister to move that the person in question to be removed from the sitting. He, however, pointed out that the action can be aborted if Phillips apologized. The House Speaker then told Bartlett that he needed to move the motion, while indicating that she did not intend to go that route, even though Phillips had behaved out of line and made utterances about her, which she said were not true. Shortly after, Phillips rose and apologized, while noting that he had allowed his emotions to get the best of him. "It takes a big person to apologize, and I accept your apology," Dalrymple Philibert said, while noting that she understood his frustration. Drivers urged to desist from flashing lights to warn about a police traffic operation. Drivers are being warned by the Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, to desist from flashing their headlights to alert other motorists about police operations. Speaking at yesterday's monthly press conference of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Anderson said the practice runs counter to law enforcement. He lamented that the action allows the lawbreakers, especially those who breach the Road Traffic Act, to escape accountability. "We see the carnage that takes place from improper road use and this idea that you be the police because oncoming traffic is flashing them to tell them to slow down because there are police around the corner who might catch you in a speed trap. This is where the public can help us. If you do not warn those people, then they would have committed an offense, but when you warn them, they go past and then they speed up again, and this is a great risk to the people they are carrying," Anderson charged. The police commissioner disclosed that a total of 1,672,052 traffic tickets were issued between 2018 and 2022, with under 40% of the tickets being paid annually. He bemoaned that too many persons continue to violate the law. Anderson noted that discussions are being held with the police's public safety and the traffic enforcement branch to get more highway patrol cops along hotspots to address the problem of road traffic crashes and fatalities. 12-year-old Westmoreland burn victim to seek treatment in U.S. Arrangements are being made to fly 12-year-old Westmoreland burn victim Adriana Pinky Lang to a burn center in the United States for treatment before the end of the week. Lang's 3 younger brothers died in the fire which destroyed their home in Springfield Sunday evening. Her father, Adrian, started the process to obtain emergency passports to facilitate the trip. Member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland, Moreland Wilson, confirmed to the news on Tuesday evening. "I am doing whatever I can to facilitate things on the government side. The relevant persons at the agencies were notified, and we don't foresee a challenge," he stated. By today, the father and the daughter are expected to have their passports in hand. Wilson would not say who was funding the trip except to indicate that persons have been reaching out since the fire and are working together to cover the cost. The 12-year-old was scheduled to start classes at Magotty High School in St. Elizabeth on Monday. Her siblings, 9-year-old Adriana Lang and his 7-year-old twin Jordan and Jaden Lang, perished in the fire that burnt their home beyond recognition. It remains unclear what triggered the fire. St. Catherine husband charged for wife's murder. The St. Catherine husband accused of the stabbing death of his wife at their home in Berkshire Hall has been charged. Peter Walters, 33, who is a tractor operator, was charged on Monday. A court date is yet to be set. It is reported that around 2 a.m. on August 26, the husband and the wife were involved in an argument at their home. It is further alleged that during the dispute, the accused used a knife to stab his wife, later identified as the 34-year-old laborer Nikisha DaCosta Walters, several times. Following the incident, the accused reportedly drove himself to the Linseed police station, where he was arrested on suspicion of murder. An investigation was conducted, and he was subsequently charged. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.